Volumetric pipettes are extremely precise glassware. You will find on the top part of the volumetric pipette a measurement. Now, even though this only says 25 milliliters, we actually have more precision than that, so it's really calibrated to 2 decimal places, 25.00. You will find that there may be multiple lines going around. This one has a blue line at the top. Some manufacturers will use that to indicate the size of the pipette so that when they're grouped together, it's easy to find what you want. What you need to do is find the line, the thin line that goes all the way around the pipette, and if you use your nail, it should be etched in, not always, but it often is. This is the line that you are going to draw your liquid to. Now this part of the tube is very narrow, so as long as you are sitting on that line to the best of your ability, you should have the precision that is indicated with this particular pipette. The bottom of the pipette, the tip, will often have a little bit of liquid remaining in it when you are done delivering. This is fine. Please do not blow the pipette out because it will change the volume that you're supposed to have, and you run the risk of contaminating your reaction. When drawing liquid into a pipette, you don't want to put the pipette directly on the bottom. This will close off the hole, but you do need it to be underneath the surface. Obviously, if I have it up in the air, then I'm going to be drawing air instead of the liquid. So this can be a little bit difficult to manage. When you have the tip of your pipette in your solution, you're going to place the pipette bulb on the end of the tube. Now you want to make sure of a couple of things. You don't want to shove it all the way on because we need to be able to pull it off fairly easily. And if you shove it on, that will make it difficult and you'll probably end up with air bubbles. So we're just resting it on there. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you have squeezed the bulb before you place it on top. And that way it is drawing the liquid up rather than forcing air into the tube. Now sometimes people will overdraw the liquid and will end up with contamination inside of the bulb. So we want to avoid forcing anything that is in this bulb back into our liquid. Because of the possibility of contamination, it's important that you transfer your liquid from its original container to a separate beaker, and that way you don't contaminate all of your solution that you want to put in, just the amount that you are using. Now, if you are pipetting different concentrations of the same liquid or different liquids, then you will need to make sure that you have cleaned out your pipette before each use. So the first thing you're going to do is just draw a small amount of liquid into the pipette. So as I pull this out here, you can see I've got some liquid in the bulb, but not all the way full. I have my thumb over the end of the pipette, and this is keeping it from leaking out the bottom. I'm going to rinse the pipette by rocking it back and forth, but also by rotating around, and that way I can get any remaining droplets of the former solution in there. This is now waste. I don't want it to go back into the container that I have just used, so if it can go in the drain, I can just dump the waste in there, otherwise dispense into a waste beaker. When using larger pipettes, it is often the case that after I have allowed the bulb to expand completely, the liquid has not completely filled the bulb, let alone reached the line in the tube. So when you have this situation, what you need to do is coordinate your hands. Make it so that you have your dominant hand free and hold the pipette and bulb in your other hand. You're going to remove the pipette bulb and quickly replace it with your thumb. Then you're going to squeeze the pipette bulb before you replace it. Remember, you're not going to shove it on. You're going to just rest it on top, just enough to form a seal. As you do this, some of the liquid may drop, so you're going to need to repeat this procedure until you can get the liquid to come up above the line. Now it is important that the liquid comes above the line because we are going to lose some of that liquid as we move from the bulb to our thumb for the final part of the process. We're going to draw enough liquid in so that the liquid comes above the line but does not go into the bulb. This can be a little bit tricky. Then you're going to replace the bulb with your thumb. Now often what will happen is the liquid will drop below that level. If it does, you just need to do it again. It may take 3 or 4 tries to get it so that the liquid stops above the line. Once you do, you are going to roll your thumb gently away from the hole so you only expose a part of the hole and the liquid drops very, very slowly. Doing this, you should be able to see when the bottom of the meniscus hits the line. So make sure that you are looking at eye level to determine if it has hit the line. At this point, lift the pipette, put the tip in the flask or beaker that you're transferring to, and allow the liquid to come out of the bottom. Again, you do not need to blow out of the pipette. It is important never to use your mouth for either suction or for blowing on the pipette. Often the chemicals that we are using in lab are either toxic or may cause damage to the inside of your mouth. So only use the pipette bulb in order to pipette.